Good morning, viewers. We're NHE TV, and today we have with us Dr. Mrs. Akinosi, who works with Zenith Bank. We're going to be asking her a few questions. What initially attracted you to Nobelhouse College, and how has the school been able to meet your expectations as a parent?
Okay, thank you, Kemi, right?
Yes,
got it right. Okay, so when my daughter turned 10, she was in a school here, and I decided she shop around for a good secondary school. I went to Lagos. I thought it was too far for me. Then Nobel wasn't even Nobel. I think they were calling Mayego. It didn't click then, but I think someone now mentioned it to me, and he told me there was a white man there. So it got me interested. So I went there. I got talking to him, and I asked him a lot of questions. And for every question I asked him, he had a good answer. So I convinced the parents that were in my daughter's school then, about 4 of us, that look, let's try this school. Let's not go to Lagos. That was how the journey of Nobel started. And when I got to Nobel, the one thing that caught my attraction was the hostel. The hostel was very beautiful. It was not that like the normal hostel that I used to see, so that got me first. The environment was very calm, good. The serenity, wonderful, you know. So okay, let's see if the academics was as good as what Pope said, because Pope was the one that was there then, you know. So we got in, and I noticed that it's not an average school, because what we thought was 60 that was good for where I was coming from was not good enough for Nobel. We had to do as much as 70, 80, you know. So it was a bit daunting for my daughter. I'm speaking for my daughter now. It was like, you know, you used to do 60 and you were proud, you were good, but now 60 was like C, D, you know, it wasn't good enough. So we had to try harder. And I remember the pioneer teachers. We still have a few of them there. Mr. Sonia is still there. Madam Rita is still there, you know. And Mrs. Imisi, wonderful lady, she's still there. So they told me there's nothing to worry about. That they have, you know, they had classes for weak students. So every child that had potentials of doing very well was encouraged. No one was left behind. So it was a good start for me. And the journey started, and I was encouraged because I could meet the teachers, we could talk. It was a one-on-one thing. The PTA was allowed to do so many things. So it was just a wonderful experience. I enjoyed being in Nobel, you understand? So when it was time for my daughter to do her exams, she did very well. The Oxford exams, if you do, what do you call that one? Checkpoint for year 9, right? And all of them came out and it was very good. So it's been good.
Can you share a specific moment or experience that stood out to you as proof that Nobelhouse College was the right choice?
Okay, so like I earlier said, I'll start from where I stopped. I was thinking of how my daughter was going to get the best, you know. Lagos schools, we say they have the best experience and opportunity, probably because they have had histories, you know. They have those schools that do Cambridge, and I think this was the first school that started Cambridge that I know, because I was in Abeokuta. So I was thinking, how was my daughter going to pass this so she could move on when she travels? Okay, and when they did the exams, we used that results, the GC, what did you call it, AGCS results, and we got her a place outside. You know, that result alone was okay for them. We didn't have to, they had told us earlier on that we're going to have another test for her, just to see if her curriculum and the one in Ireland was okay. But when they saw her results from Nigeria, Oxford, of course, you know, they give you a certificate. So they gave it to us and it was okay. And it was like, I mean, it was just easy like that to get her a place there. And it was just with that certificate that she had passed, because she did very well, and that was it. So it wasn't a big deal for me to think about my second son coming and my other daughter. I have 2 other children still in Nobel, so that only experience was a guarantee for me that the rest will do well too.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What would you say to other parents who are considering Nobelhouse College for their children's education?
Okay, for parents out there that are still looking for schools like I did then, I'll tell them Nobelhouse School is a wonderful school. The first thing that catches your attraction is the serenity when you're coming into the school. nature speaks to you, and it's just a wonderful place for a child to study. Number two, the teachers are approachable. Really, you can talk to all your teachers. I see the way my daughter talks about her teacher. They have a relationship, and it's easy for her to communicate things that she probably won't even tell me at home, It's easy, and the parents give me a feedback as soon as I ask. There's always a feedback, and that's very important to me. So for any parent out there that is looking for a good school, I'll recommend Nobelhouse because feedback is key on your child's academics. Number two, the serenity like I talked about, and the friendly environment. It's a wonderful place, and like I said earlier on, experience has showed me first time, second time, third time, that is a good one. So anyone looking for a school that doesn't want to stay probably in Lagos or Port Harcourt or Abuja and wants to come to a quiet place, Nobelhouse is the best place you can be in.
How would you describe your experiences as a working mom?
That's a big question, but I'll answer you. It's not being a working mom and making sure the home front and the children get to school on time. It's a lot of work. But I find out that when you're organized, it helps you a lot. And when you have community help, probably because I'm in Abeokuta, it's been a lot easy because I have people, okay, we all know ourselves here. Please, can you help me pick up my children? We all went to the same primary school or probably neighboring primary school, so we know parents were. It's a community. Anyway, Nobelhouse, we're a community. During the fun day, we get to meet ourselves. Even the ones in Lagos, you start exchanging messages. I know so many of them that I'm so friends with that their kids have left the school. So it made my job as a working mother easy because the basic thing is to make sure that my children are okay, they get to school on time, their lessons are okay, they have their tests, and I go over the revisions with them. So not minding that my task here is a bit tasking and I have to concentrate more. I have lots of help, community effort, and Abeokuta is small, so I can get to a place in just a jiffy and I'm good. So it's been very good.
Have you ever faced with an angry customer, and how did you deal with him or her?
That's a huge question too. Every day I face angry customers. But the first thing I do when I face an angry customer, I put myself in their shoes first. I don't get defensive. Because when you get defensive, you're already going to make more trouble because this customer is already angry. I shouldn't be defensive. The first thing I do is put myself in their shoes and listen. I don't talk, I don't say anything. I just let them speak and say everything you want to say. Then when they have said everything you want to say, like I said, I don't get defensive. I just tell them I'm sorry. The word sorry ends a lot of things. Someone that has come here very, very angry, and the very first thing I tell you after you speak to me is, I'm sorry. You know what that does to you? Just calms the nerves down. So even if you had so much you wanted to say, look at this lady, I've just screamed and shouted at her, but all she has to say is sorry. So I've calmed the customer down, and I bring you over and ask you, and we'll talk about what the issue was and trash it out. So every day I meet different customers, and sometimes it doesn't really work like that because some don't even want to listen to you. Some could want to get physical, because they're very, very angry. So you just look at this customer and probably use the same method for this one. So the one that is very, very angry probably don't even say anything, because even if you say sorry, they still get angry. But you just stay calm and just cool. Don't be defensive. That is what I tell my colleagues. Don't be defensive. Don't defend it. Just keep still.
How do you go about your day-to-day activities in your workplace?
My day-to-day activity is always different. Like you asked me earlier on, sometimes I have different kinds of customers that come. So probably I have my to-do list. I had already planned my day that I was going to do this, do this, do this. Most time it doesn't work like that for me, because you come in, probably something has happened overnight and I just get to know in the morning. So I probably have a customer that is angry, or I have a customer that is very impatient, or I have some disruption. Something always happens. So when it happens, I just flow with the day. If I planned, of course, but I will remember that I have my to-do list, and I'll always go back to it because that's one of the best ways to keep myself organized. If I forget to do the things that I told myself I was going to do today is going to pile up and it's going to make me confused, it's going to get complex, and it's going to keep me having so much work to do. So when my plan does not go, no problem. I have my to-do list. I'll do what I have to do to ensure that we have a smooth running operations for the whole day. Then I go back to that to-do list. I have two kinds of lists. I have the one for my house and I have the one for the office. The one for my house, buy Shiri popcorn, buy this, buy bread, buy this. So I have that. So I'll take that. That's part of what I said makes me organized. So when I'm going home, I remember, have I done all what Shiri asked me to do? Because if I don't do everything Shiri asked me to do, there's trouble. So, and I check for office team to have I called this customer back, because I miss calls too, so have I called this customer back, have I gotten back into them? So by that time, when I've made sure my two lists, I have a personal list and I have an official list, when I've counted it down, it's okay, the day is okay. And for ones that I'm not able to achieve, I carry it over. Those are the ones that start on my list the next day. So that's how my day goes.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We'd like to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to sit with us and answer our questions. Thank you for your time, ma'am.